welcome to the video lectures on compiler design. So now we'll see the construction of CLR parsing table. See, this is a video lecture which is a continuation of my previous video lectures where we are finding what is this CLR parsing. So I have done this one like including the augmented grammar and then construction of LR of one item. So I completed this one. I explained this process. Everything I explained, and if you want you can watch in my previous video lecture. So now after completion of this construction of LR of one items, what you need to do is construction of CLR parsing table. So that one now we are going to deal with. So that is what we'll see now. So how to construct the CLR parsing table here. So I have taken a table where I need to write here in the column wise. Here I need to, in each row first I need to write here the items which are I constructed in CLR closures. Okay, so this is I0, I1, I2 like this. What is the last one? I9. So all those things I need to write here. So here items must be there. So I0, so I9, total till I9 I need to write. So total items, and here I need to write, and anyway I explained in SLR parsing also. So here I need to write first terminals. So one terminal is B. If you see our grammar, so one terminal is B, another terminal is D. Anyway, we must include dollar. And what are the non-terminals I am writing here? And S and C. The terminal part I call it as action. The terminal part is called as action, and the non-terminal part is go to. So like this we need to write first. So how to fill this parsing table? So first of all what you need to check it is, first you need to start from I0, go to your construction of LR of one items. So I0, check it out. I0, what are the symbols that you scanned from I0? So you scanned from I0 to S, going to I1, I0 to C, going to I2, like this you have. So I0 to S, I0 to C, I0 to B, I0 to D you have. So all those things I'll write. First I0 to S, I1. So here in this parsing table I need to write shifts, reduce as well as accept. So how to write, anyway I explained in SLR parses. So here also I'm explaining, like for a non-terminal, for a particular item you have to write only the number. For terminal, here you need to first write the shift. So let us suppose I0, what you are getting, I0 to S, I1. So I0 to S, I1. Actually it is a non-terminal, no? So instead of writing I1 only, I'll write 1. So like this. If this 1 comes here in the terminals, what I need to write? Shift 1, S1. Like this you need to write. So I0 to next one is C. Again non-terminal, going to I2. I0 to C, it is going to I2. That is only 2 I need to write. The next one, I0 to B, which is the terminal now. So I0 to B, it is going to I3. So I0 to B, it is going to I3. Shall I write only 3? No. So it is a terminal, that's why I am writing S3. Like this. So next I0 to D, going to I4. D is also terminal. So I0 to D, S4. Like this we need to write. So similar, if I go with the next one, I0 is over, no. I1. I1, is there any symbol scanned? No. I2. I2 to, what are the symbols you scanned? Anyway, here I have not written. This is C, no. So uppercase C. I0, I2 to C, it is going to I5. So I2 to C, it is going to I5. So it's a non-terminal, that's why I am writing only 5. So next I2 to B, it is going to I6. I2 to B, I6. Here it is a terminal, that's why 6 can be written as S6. I2 to D, I2 to D, it is going to I7. I2 to D, it is going to I7 means S7. Next I2 is over. Next coming to I3. I3, what are the symbols are scanning? I2 to I3 to C is going to this part, which is I8. So I3 to C, which is I8. I3 to C, which is I8 only. This is a non-terminal, C is a non-terminal, that's why only you write the number. Next, I3 to B, again I3. I3 to B, I3 only, that is S3. Next, I3 to D going to I4. I3 to D going to I4, 4 means which is a shift S4. I3 is also over. Next, I4, is there any symbol is scanning? No. I5? No. I6? Yes. I6 to C, I9. I6 to C, I9. I6 to B, I6. I6 to B, I6, that's why S6. So I6 to D, S7. I7 means S7. So that means just I am adding S to this numbers. So whenever it is a terminal, you have to add S. S means shift. So I6 to D is also over. I7, is there any? No. I8? No. And I9? No. So that's why this is over. This is only for shifting is over. So what about R? You have to write reductions also, no? So what are the reductions I need to write? So anyway, we have 3 productions. So that's why I'll get R1, R2, R3. So how many productions are there? There's that many reductions will get here. R1, R2, R3. So here only 3 you have. So how to write this one? And if you could just compare this one with SLR parsing table, what we have done there, where you have written R1, you checked where is R1, where you have this projection is completed. That means, so at the end you need to find the dot, and after that you find where you need to write here, means you went for follow. So what is the change here you need to do is, so first finding I0 or I1 or where I need to write this R1 is common, but here no need to go for finding the follow here, follow of a particular non-terminal. Why? Because here you are readily available with look aheads, so that's why not required. Anyway, I'll explain this one, you can see. Listen carefully. So R1 means first production you have to take. So where I need to write R1 in this table? So particular row I required, particular column I require, no? So first of all, I'll take this one, S tends to CC, no? Check it out, S tends to CC, where it is ending. Ending means you have to find S tends to CC dot. Where it is, S tends to CC dot. Check it out. Is it in one place or more than one place? S tends to, here it is dot CC, here it is C dot C, here it is CC dot. So now you check it out, what is that item? I5. So there you can go, I5. So now I need to write R1 in I5 row. But where I need to write? Here, 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 or where I need to write? Now we'll see. So S tends to CC dot, you have checked it, no? So in SLR you have checked it out, like S means if where I need to get means you have to find the follow of S. But here what you need to do is you directly go to that S tends to CC dot. What is the look ahead you are finding here? Dollar. So only take the dollar. So where is the dollar? Here. So I'm going to I5, I'm going to dollar. So here only you have to write R1. That's it. So here there is no need of finding the follow. Here directly you have to check it out, what is the look ahead for a particular production. That means where it is ending means S tends to CC dot, you need to check it out, and where is that dollar. And again, once again you can check it out, is there any other somewhere you are finding S tends to CC dot? Nowhere. Now R1 is over. Where I need to write R2? Go to the second production. C tends to BC. So C tends to BC. Where it is ending? That means you have to find where it is C tends to BC dot. So where is C tends to BC dot? Here it is dot BC. Here also dot BC. This is B dot C. This is dot BC like this, and you can see here C tends to BC dot. You are finding it in I8. Not only here, you can see I9 also. C tends to BC dot. So that means you have to go to I8 as well as I9. In both you need to write R2. But where you need to write? In I8 where you need to write? In I9 where you need to write? Very simple this one. What you need to do is go for I8. In I8, what is the look ahead? You can say B and D. So directly go for B and D in I8. In I8, I'll go to B and D here and I'll write R2. That's it. Now I9, go to I9. In I9, C tends to BC dot is there. What is the look ahead? Dollar. So in I9, go to dollar and write R2. So this much simple it is. Now R2 is also over. Now coming to R3. R3, where I need to write, you have to check it out. Third production, C tends to D. So where is C tends to D dot? You have to check it out. So where is C tends to D dot? Here it is dot D, no? Here it is C tends to D dot. I4. Not only I4, you can check it out. Yeah, here I7, C tends to D dot. You check it out. So I mean that means I4 and I7 you have C tends to D dot. So I'll go to I4, I'll go to I7. So I'll go to I4 and I7, and in I4, what is the look ahead? B and D. So in I4, I need to go for B and D, and I need to write R3 here. And what about the next one? I7. I'll go to I7, and what is the look ahead? Dollar. I7, I'll go to dollar and I'll write R3. So that's it. And one more thing. So shifts are over, reductions are over. What about accept? So I told you A1 to dollar, you need to write accept. So anyway, that is where you can find S dash tends to S dot in I1. So there I1 to dollar, which you have to write it as accept. Now the parsing table, you can see all the actions like shift, you got it, reduce, you got it, accept, you got it. What about the error? Whatever the empty cells, those are all are errors. So like this you can construct the CLR parsing table. So that is what completion of construction of CLR parsing table. And of course check whether the grammar is LR of 1 or not. How to check it out? The same like in SLR. So in you have to check it out in the parsing table such that if it is unambiguous, means such that no cell should have more than one action. So let us suppose if I take this cell I4 to B, so you have only one action. What is that? R3. So it's not like you have to take either R3 or some other operation. So only one action you need to find in every cell. Okay, so that is what we call it as it is not ambiguous. So if it is ambiguous, means you may find like in I3 to be like this, like S3 or R1. That means either to shift or reduce. Like this you will find in some grammars where you will find it is the production, the grammar is ambiguous. But now you can say the given grammar, whatever you have taken, this is not ambiguous. That's why you are not getting that sort of mistakes. So the final one, check whether the given string is accepted or not. We'll see in the next video lecture. Thank you.